conference will now be recorded.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to this regular meeting of the Vader City Council. It is Thursday, August 11th, 2022. It is 6:14 p.m. Roll call.
Jason Daly.
Mr. Daly is working right now.
Randy Hall.
Here.
Ann McIntosh.
Here.
Mayor Shai.
I am here.
Mike Parsons.
He is also working. And we have a vacancy, so that person is absent. We don't have a quorum tonight, so I will go through the mayor's report and the take any council reports, listen to the sheriff's update, but we won't take any action tonight. So, pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Public hearing coming up on August 18th at the Planning Committee meeting. It's regarding the accessory dwelling unit standards within the city. The Planning Committee does have a vacancy, so interested folks should get a hold of the city. The deputy clerk position here at City Hall is still vacant. Some interested candidates should also get a hold of City Hall for that job opening. Property acquisition. So we just got the final report 2 days ago. There's no environmental or issues related to the survey. So we're going to be moving on to closing very soon on that. Wastewater treatment plant outfall. So as we've discussed before, the outfall pipe into the creek was not part of the wastewater plant upgrade, but we do need to do that upgrade. So we applied for a grant to the county, which we got for $94,075 to assist with the engineering costs. That will cover 75% of our engineering costs, leaving the city with around $25,000 or $30,000 of engineering costs, which is easy for us to handle out of the sewer fund. And so once the grant is finalized, and we know for sure that all that paperwork's done, we'll have a document for council approval to approve the other costs related to that. Benches in Worden Park. So for those of you that have been down to Worden Park, there are a couple of new benches installed. Those were purchased and donated by the Vader Assembly of God Church, and their volunteers installed those with concrete, and so that was really great of them to help out the city with that. So thank you to the church for that. And street improvements. So the different street chip seal projects that were delayed last year and that were scheduled for this year are all going to start happening here in the next 2 weeks. So you should see the county here in town doing prep work on the streets to get all that grant funded work going. Any council reports?
Has that glass been, I haven't been by to look, but between my house and the church, has that glass been taken care of?
I don't know anything about that. What glass?
They filled some holes up with dirt, and the dirt was filled with glass, broken glass.
In the park?
No, between my house and the church, there's that little.
In the alley?
Yeah. The potholes are filled with dirt with glass.
Didn't know anything about that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I pulled out a couple of big old hunks too.
Okay, I think that's one of the city alleys, so I can let John know and he can go through and maybe he can figure out a better way to scoop that out of there and replace it. So,
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's get a screen and sift it.
Yeah. Okay. Any other reports?
I don't know, so I'm assuming John had scooped it from the park, but that's the only place I can think of that has glass in the dirt.
I don't know. I don't know why he would take glassy dirt and put it in the potholes. It doesn't
Maybe
sound like
didn't
it.
pay attention.
Maybe someone else did it.
Could have, well, I know I didn't do it. I'm not that civic minded.
Anybody apply for the deputy clerk position at all?
I think we've gotten one more application in the last couple of weeks. Is that right? Yeah. Any other council reports? Okay. Special reports by Lewis County Sheriff's Department.
Good evening.
Good evening.
This is the July law enforcement totals. For the month of July, there were a total of 571 citizen contacts, 9 calls while the deputy was dedicated to the city of Vader, 9 well, there was not a dedicated deputy in Vader, so a total of 18. We had 28 traffic stops resulting in 4 infractions, 2 criminal traffic citations, and 2 warrant arrests. That's about it.
One of us doing it, serious felony arrest or?
No, both of the arrests were related to minor traffic where basically somebody was suspended before and now they have a warrant because they didn't
Suspended license.
exactly take care of it. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And for keeping that.
All right. Any members of the public have anything they'd like to say tonight?
I do have a question.
Go ahead, Kathy. The floor is yours.
On, under the street improvements, is there like a list of things you want to do for the year or for the budget?
Yeah,
Yeah, so there for a list of street improvements. Yeah, every year under the Growth Management Act, the city is required to do something called a transportation improvement plan, and it's a 5 or 6 year plan, and we're supposed to have it updated by the end of June. It's just a list of street projects. Basically, it's a wish list of everything the city would like to do over the next 5 or 6 years. And so we do keep something put together like that.
Paving East Street?
yeah, it's on 2024,
Paving East Street.
2024, I believe. You see how-
Are those current numbers on that? On how much it would take for those projects? Are those current numbers or those old numbers?
Those are rough estimates. So yeah, so you're talking about E and F over here.
Well, F I know it's private, but E, you know.
G is
From
private.
10th south. You know, from,
West,
yeah,
Oh, from 10th south.
yeah, from
yeah,
10th
it goes
south.
from Mines to.
Oh, okay, that stretch of E.
Yes,
um,
partially asphalt and then just.
Yeah, it's a death hole when people
Right.
flying through there.
Yeah, I mean, we're not actively pursuing any way to pave that. We're trying to fix the other streets first before we create more pavement.
There's no part of 8th Street on that either. And from D to probably A should be widened and dealt with because it's a pretty common route.
And most of 8th Street should be worked on in the next 2 weeks. It's this summer's work is going to take care of 8th Street. Not widening it, but the surface should be
Oh,
improved.
cool.
Yep.
Thanks.
Mhm.
Also, I'd like to make a comment on the outflow. We paid $500,000 for somebody to design and all this, and that was overlooked. I don't agree with what that is. I think that's been added. I don't know, but I think the design and then the bid should have had something to do with that, whether or not it didn't include it. I mean, all of a sudden now it's something that we have to pay for. I mean, 30,000 is a lot to put on the residents. Thank you.
Yeah, so my understanding with that is, many years ago, when they went to do the initial design for the wastewater plant, they knew at that time that the outfall pipe to the creek also needed to get replaced. But the environmental regulations and the time involved to get a design approved and through ecology, just for the outfall section, would have added a considerable amount of time to the overall project. And so what they did is they decided to break it into 2 projects, the wastewater plant itself and the outfall pipe. And they wanted to get the wastewater plant done first and then worry about the outfall pipe second. And so now that the wastewater plant project is wrapping up, we're moving on to the outfall pipe. It was regulation reasons why they decided to break the project up into 2 sections.
I don't remember ever hearing anything about that but thank you for the explanation.
Yeah, I have an email we could print for you too that from Civil West that explains the situation in greater detail, but that's the gist of it.
It was just, I do the councils. That's all I really do.
Okay. Any other comments?
Yes, I had a
Go ahead.
lady stop by my house complaining, a couple of houses from Reggie's. Somebody playing loud music and she can hear it like 2 or 3 streets away from where I live. The only thing I can ever hear is some kid in the afternoon practicing on his drums for band. Now, I don't know what world she's talking about. And I said I would mention it. I did. And she said she's called the police on them.
You mentioned Reggie's and I have no idea.
Oh,
what that is.
you know where the church is?
Next to you?
The
Yes.
north end of B Street.
Yeah.
Oh,
but
okay.
I don't know streets.
North end of B, okay.
Yeah, somewhere down in there. But all I ever hear is in the afternoon is some kid practicing for the band. And she said, I hear people partying all the time. I live there, I don't hear nothing.
Oh, you feel bad they're not inviting you.
I know, dirty dogs. I'll call the cops on them myself.
All right. Well, if there's nothing else for this evening, hopefully have a better turnout next time. I know it's the summertime, everyone's busy, and so these things happen. So this meeting is adjourned at 6:26 p.m.
Thanks for